What's up, Buttercups? Hope you guys are having an amazingly golden day with cherries on top. My name is Elvis, you are watching The Golden Drive, and this is the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and it is amazing. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the exterior styling, the interior tech features, and I'm also going to be taking it for a drive to give my full driving impressions. And before we get started with the video, I just want to give a huge thanks and shout out to Langley Chrysler for loaning me this Jeep just to review for the day. They're an amazing dealership. So if you're interested in this Grand Cherokee L or even more amazing cars, you can check out their dealership. You can visit in person. You can check it out on their website. And yeah, get in touch with them because they're amazing. Okay, with that said, let's get started. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and we're just gonna be going over the exterior impressions. And first of all, I would like to say this thing looks amazing. First of all, I just love the boxy styling. It just looks great, especially in this red color. And this actually bears a striking resemblance to the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer, which I just think is pretty cool. So this is like a smaller Jeep Grand Wagoneer. So if you look at the rear of this car, you'll find out that it actually does not have the Grand Cherokee badge written up here. You just have Jeep, you have the L of the 4x4, and this says Overland. On the driver and the passenger door, you have the Grand Cherokee label. Most cars just have one label, but this one has two. That means it's twice as better. I just love that it's not too much chrome, it's just enough. And I love the contrast with the black as well as the red. And with that said, let us dive into the interior because that is where this thing shines. Okay, follow me. Okay, so now for the interior. And I would like to say this is an amazing interior. This is a luxurious car. When you think of Jeep, a lot of times you think of off-roadiness, brawniness. You just think of tough, and you think of just outside adventures. But this redefines that in an amazing way. When I sit in these seats and just hold the steering wheel and just stare at this interior, I just think luxury, comfort, class. It just looks great. The dashboard is lined in amazing leather. You have this beautiful wood paneling that just feels so nice to touch. Oh. And then you have this really beautiful and nice piano black center console. And it just looks so good. I mean, one gripe I would say that's kind of annoying is, yeah, this thing is a fingerprint magnet, this piano black finish. While it looks great, keep a wiping cloth in here because it is going to get fingerprinty. And also if you look up, this thing has an amazing, it's a double panoramic sunroof. And so there's a lot of light let in here. Even today, that's a very cloudy day. It still adds to the whole open air experience of the car. And I just think it just works so well for this car. Looking at these leather seats, they are just beautiful. All Leatherland from front to back. And this one says Overland, which is this car's trim. And so there are 5 packages that you can get this car in. And I think with this one, you get the most bang for your buck when you compare features and tech to cost. And speaking of features, the Grand Cherokee L has so much to offer. Okay, we're just gonna start with the basics. First of all, it has a heated steering wheel. Oh, so let me just actually turn that on now. Oh my gosh, and it feels amazing. It also has heated and cooled seats. I'm actually gonna turn on my heated seats now. Also, it has massaging seats. So actually, I'm gonna turn them on right now. It has a dedicated button over here. You press it, and that feels so good. It feels amazing. And speaking of amazing, you don't only control the massaging functions from here, you can also control them from the screen, which is over here. So this is Jeep's latest and greatest infotainment system. It's Uconnect 5, and it offers so much. So it's really responsive to use. It has a lot of features. So first of all, there's a home screen which goes through just the basic navigation stuff, and you have your radio here. You also have the comfort screen, which from here you can see a bunch of your stuff that deals with comfort. When we click on the massaging function, there's a bunch of ways you can configure this. There's waterfall, lower back, extend, low extend, rock climb. The names are interesting, but that makes it fun. And you can feel, oh, it feels so good. Right now I have it on waterfall, so it's going from top to bottom, and it feels good. And it's also on high, so you can also adjust it to medium or low, or you can also turn it off. So next, this car also has navigation. It looks amazing, and it's very, very responsive. You have Bluetooth, you have Wi-Fi in here. This is cool. And you can also adjust a bunch of vehicle settings from here. So there's also, which is pretty cool, a rear view camera up here. So a lot of cars, you would see the regular rear view mirror, which this one has. But if you just want to see the rear view mirror, you can do that. But if you switch this in like that, it just shows a camera. I think that is pretty cool. And it also has a bunch of cameras. So the rear view camera, you can see it, you can select. So in general, this is just a very easy to use system. It's very intuitive, very responsive, and it's golden. And so next, more features that this thing has. This thing has 4 USB ports, at least up here. 2 regular USB 2.0 and 2 USB-C ports up here. It has an aux jack, and I can also choose to charge my phone here. So there's a wireless charging pad down here, which I think is just really cool. This thing has 5 different drive modes. It has rock, sand and mud, snow, auto, and sport mode. So this car also has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which is so cool. And also this thing has a fully digital gauge cluster, which also is really cool. And it's very customizable. They go bigger, they go smaller, depending on what you want, depending on what drive modes you're in. And it's just very responsive. There's a lot of buttons on the steering wheel as well. And I just love something that Jeep has been doing for a very long time. Jeep Chrysler products. So behind the steering wheel, there's 2 buttons. There's up and down for increasing and reducing volume. And then on this side, there's more buttons here for going to the next and the previous song. And of course, you have your paddle shifters up here for changing gear if you wanted to. But all in all, this is an amazing interior. And then we're gonna move on to safety features, because this car is equipped with a lot of them. So for safety, it has an active lane management system, so lane keep assist. It also has parking assist. It has adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, a ton of airbags. It also has parking sensors, and you can get this with the rear view camera that sees when your kids are fighting. You can just zoom in and you can see all of that. So I just think that's pretty cool. And then finally, you have this button to the right of me, which is for raising and lowering the suspension, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, watch this. So this is the lowest setting. You have 5 more, so I'm just gonna take it straight to the top. And let's see what happens. Top, okay. So we're gonna see how long it takes for it to raise up, but you can just feel it. Whee! It's like a slow amusement park ride. And it is just so cool that they allow you to fully adjust the suspension to whatever height you want. And the differences are just insane. You saw how low this was, and now it's increasing and raising actually at a quick enough speed. It's not too slow. So if you wanna do any off-roading, you can with no problems, and you're not super worried about denting your oil pan or denting some part of the frame or anything. It is just awesome, and I love that they give you that feature. And now, so moving to the back seats, I'm 6'1". The front driver's seat is adjusted to where I would be driving normally. And you can see I have more than enough room to wiggle my legs. I can slide around, and I have adequate room, no problems whatsoever. And I also just think it's pretty cool. You have the hater blockers. They're not automatic like in some Rolls Royces and all of that, but for the price that you're paying, it's so cool that they give you this option. You guys to block out the sun, so in case you have little kids and you don't want them to get sunburned in the summer and toasted, you can just put this sunshade up, and it is amazing. Also, you have your backseat climate controls here, and you also have 4 more USB ports, and you also have a household style outlet down here too, which I think is just a really nice addition. Okay, next we're gonna go or try to climb into the 3rd row. I don't have a lot of hope for this, but we shall see if I fit or not. Let's see. A 6'1" man getting into the rear seats. Whew. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of room now. This is gonna be the determining factor. Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. That is amazing. What? There's enough headroom There's enough knee room. This is awesome. A lot of third seat rows or third seat cars, you don't have a lot of room back in the third row. It just feels great. Like literally I have like almost a foot extra knee room, and I'm 6'1", and it's not bad. Okay, I am very impressed with this car. How did they do this? I'm with the cap and I'm almost not even like, I have full range of motion. It's awesome. And I like it too that they didn't just desert the back seat or the third row seat space. They didn't just leave it bland. You have USB port, 2 on each side. So in total, there's 12 USB ports in this car. That is amazing. That's very impressive. You still have cup holders back here. There's some Easter eggs, which I think is pretty cool. Like on this window, you can see the regular Grand Cherokee and you can see the Grand Cherokee L. And on that side, you can actually see an old school Jeep picture on the windshield. I just think those kind of Easter eggs are really cool. Okay, with that said, let us move to the trunk. There's 17 cubic feet of space in this area. If I want to fold this down, I don't need to do that manually. There's 4 buttons here, which I am going to be pressing in order. So you have here, they said 2L, 2R, 3L, 3R. And so with the third row completely down, you have approximately 47 cubic feet of space. So now with this third row folded, you have approximately 85 cubic feet of space. And before we take this on a drive, let me just show you guys what we have under here. Oh, it's so warm, it's so nice. Oh, it feels so good. I'm getting distracted. This is a naturally aspirated V8 that produces 357 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. That's amazing. You can also get this with a V6 that produces 293 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. But honestly, I would get the V8. Like, it just feels so nice. You get the V8 sound, you get the V8 torque, you get the V8 power. And speaking of power, this V8 powered Grand Cherokee can actually tow 7,200 pounds, which I think is a really stout number. And the V6 can tow 6,200 pounds, which is actually not bad for a V6. So this is not a performance car by any means. It is a luxury car. But in case you wanted to know, this thing does 0 to 60 miles per hour or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 6.2 seconds, while the V6 does it in 8 seconds. So you can just see the power difference there is huge. And with that said, let us head to my driving impressions. I'm so excited to drive this thing. Just from my impressions of driving so far, this thing drives so great. Like I mentioned earlier, this thing has the 5.7 liter naturally aspirated V8 in it. And you would never know because it is so freaking quiet in here. Like, you can't hear anything. Like, that's amazing to me. It drives so well. Like I mentioned earlier, it has air suspension. That's how it's able to go up and down a billion times for raising and reducing the ride height. And so, yeah, I think it drives so well. It is so smooth. And I love this thing so far. The steering feels very direct. I haven't taken any like sharp turns or anything, but the steering is very sharp, and honestly you don't really notice the size all that much. This one is actually big, but it does not feel like I'm driving a boat. It actually does not feel bad at all. And it's very smooth to shift. You don't really feel shifts at all. Yeah, so far it's great to drive. So when you're on cruise control, it brakes for you. It has lane keep assist, so the steering is always in the lane, and so you can technically drive. This thing technically drives itself. And yeah, it just feels great to drive. Again, I'm not doing any crazy. It handles its weight so well, and that V8, when you want to go, this thing will go. I love this feature, the rear view camera mirror thing. Why is that person following me so closely? Oh my gosh. But yeah, you can see so much better. So if there's kids or adults in your way, you can always bypass their heads, if that makes any sense. Wow, that person is so impatient. Oh my goodness. This car is just great to drive. Like I said, very comfortable, feels very luxurious. The seats grip you so well, and it has the power. I got the power. That's what this car would sing if it could sing. But yes, it has enough power and you don't feel like you're lacking. Again, this car tows 7,200 pounds. If you're in the marketplace looking
to buy the Grand Cherokee L. Hopefully I convinced you to maybe take a look at this car or buy it because it is so amazing. The base model starts out a little bit over 50,000, but this one is actually equipped to about 85 grand. Which is yeah, the price, it's not very cheap, and so yeah, but you get what you pay for. It's such a nice car to be in. It drives amazing, it sounds great, that V8 engine, the power, all the luxurious features. You get massaging seats. I'm literally going down the road right now. I am getting massaged, my heated seats are on, I have no care in the world, and yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this car. Okay, and if you want, that's why I love this car too. You can go straight from cruising in the luxury to going off-road and still having your massaging seats working. That's insane. That is so cool. And I just tested the sound system. The sound system sounds amazing, by the way. The Macintosh sound system, it looks amazing. The speakers look great, but it also sounds amazing too. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this golden video. Give me a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on TikTok at The Golden Drive for more updates on the Datsun, on this car, on multiple cars that I'll be reviewing this year. And again, thank you so much to Langler Chrysler. Dang it, I said it again. Langley Chrysler. I am so sorry. But yes, this car is awesome. Have an amazing day. Bye.